Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today, we are going to be talking about my priority TBR for 2026. Sorry if my voice is a little scratchy. I was perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden my throat hurts so bad. So, don't know why that's a thing, but hopefully it doesn't sound too horrible. I have 6 fiction books and 6 non-fiction books to talk about today. I know a lot of people do like 26 and 26, and I think that I could realistically do a list of 26 because I generally read around 75 books per year. My goal every year is 60, but I usually read around more than that. But I don't like sticking to very specific TBRs. That's just not something that I've ever really enjoyed that much, and so I feel like 6 was a better number for both fiction and nonfiction. 6 and 26 still sounds nice and catchy, so that's why I chose 6 for each. So let's just jump into the fiction section first. The first book on this list was such a priority that I have already finished it, and that is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I loved this book. This book is really amazing. So basically you are following these 7, well I guess it's technically 8, clans who I think it's like 24 years, they have trials and they compete for the throne. Or like if the emperor dies. And they do this to prevent like bloodline hierarchy and to keep things more fair and more peaceful is like the idea of it. So this is following the trials. The High Scholar, Nima, is our main character, and the Ravens are like the scholarly group. They're each like named after an animal. And the contender for the Ravens is murdered. And so Nima is tasked with solving her murder and then also competing as the replacement contender. And a lot of people are very upset about this. This has so much amazing political intrigue. The trials were really, really interesting. The world building was so good. The character work was so good. This book is 643 pages long, and it genuinely felt like a 300-page book because the time just didn't exist when I was reading. I sat down and I read 300 pages in one sitting of this, and it was just like boom. I had to finish reading. I had to keep reading it. It is so good, and definitely should have been a priority because it's a 5-star. My first read of the year, 5-star. Thank you, The Raven Scholar. So yeah. Also just to say, I don't have all of these books physically. The first couple ones I have them physical because I got them for Christmas. Generally, I don't buy a lot of books just because it's not in our budget, but I mostly read from the library. Support your local library, use Libby, whatever you need to do. So I do have the first couple ones physically, but yeah, just wanted to plug the library. The next book is my current read, and that is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Dinniman. I have been seeing this everywhere. I mean, this is all over the internet. And I was like, I don't know if I'll like this. I'm not sure if I should try it. I'm a little bit nervous. And then my cousin, she met Matt Dinniman, actually, but she said that she really liked it and she thinks that I would like it too. So I was like, okay, I'll get it. And I'm only 40 pages in, and I'm loving it so far. I understand why this has gotten so much hype. So basically, this book follows Carl. An alien race has come to claim Earth, and anything under a structure, like a house, a car, a tent, has been destroyed. But if you're outside, not under a structure, you're still alive, and basically they give them the choice to stay out in the Earth and fend for themselves, or go down into the dungeons and compete for their lives. And it becomes kind of like an RPG video game in book form. It's really, really fun so far, and I'm so excited to get into this. I really, really am, because I think it's just going to get better and better and better. This is like an 8-book series or 7-book series. I have a feeling I'm gonna love it, so I'm really excited to dive into this. And like, this is the book that's on the list, but I think the series is going to end up becoming a thing for me because I'm feeling really good about this so far. The last book that I have physically is The Shadow of the Gods by Gwynne. This is about a world, I think it's kind of based off Norse mythology, and basically the gods have warred and killed each other but the bones of the dead gods still hold power. And so people who are brave enough or desperate enough to try and find these bones to get power from them, you're following them on a journey. Whispers of the war echo over the fjords and across the plains. Fate follows in the footsteps of 3 warriors, a huntress on a perilous quest, a noble woman pursuing battle fame, and a thrall seeking retribution among the mercenaries known as the Bloodsworn. So I've heard that this book is fantastic. I've heard Gwynne is a fantastic author, and I don't know, I guess I was just in the mood to like jump into some big fantasy books, because this is also a chunky boy. Let's see, how many pages is this? This is always scary to try and check how many pages it is without spoiling yourself. Let's see, okay, don't read anything. 478. And then this one is about which what's interesting is that this book is, this isn't that important, but 447. So this is only 30 pages longer, but I feel like for some reason this feels so much smaller to me than this. I don't know. I guess maybe just, they're not. This one's taller. Maybe that's why. Maybe it feels bigger because it's taller. And the Raven Scholar is a little taller too. That's why they're like, feels so large, and this feels tiny, but it's still 450 pages basically. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is, I don't know if I had a point. Those are the 3 books I had physically. Now moving into my next 3 anticipated fiction reads. The Strength of the Few by James Islington. Islington? I don't know actually how to say his last name. I've heard it both ways. This is the second book in the Hierarchy series, I think is what it's called. The first one is The Will of the Many. I really enjoyed The Will of the Many. I reread it last year in preparation to read this book. I got this book from the library. I had the loan out for the entirety of the loan. I did not open it at all. I don't know why. Things were busy. It was like kind of near Christmas time and the end of the year. I had surgery, and Christmas is always crazy, and so there was like so much going on that I didn't do a lot of reading. And I felt really stressed, and often, I don't know, I go between 2 modes. When I'm super stressed, I either read so much or I read nothing at all. And the end of the year was like, I read nothing at all. So, yeah. So that's what I really want to get to. I really enjoyed The Will of the Many. Basically, The Will of the Many follows a boy named Viz, and he is adopted, and he's adopted for political reasons because his adopted father wants him to go into the military school as a spy because he believes that his brother was killed there. And so he wants him to spy for him, but Viz has some of his own reasons that are a secret from everybody else. So I really enjoyed it. I thought the political intrigue of it was really interesting. I love the world building. Basically, it's like the magic system works off of like giving your will, like your will to live, your will to exist, up to other people, and then it's pyramid. So, you know, the people on top have the most power. So, yeah. I just thought it was really interesting, and I'm looking forward to actually reading The Strength of the Few, which I've heard kind of mixed things about. I've some people that I follow have absolutely loved it, and some people have been really disappointed by it, so I'm very curious to see which camp I'll fall in. I'm hoping that I absolutely love it. Okay, the next one is Borne by Jeff Vandermeer. So I really love Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I've read the entire Area X series. It's a series now, not a trilogy, because the 4th one came out in 2025. And the other 4 books don't need to exist, in my opinion. I think they kind of suck, to be honest. But I really like Jeff Vandermeer's writing. I really like the weird, gross, undescribable nature aspects that he does in his books. I really, really enjoy that. And so I thought, you know what, I'll check out another Jeff Vandermeer. This one is, I think it's like, if I'm remembering this correctly, taking place during kind of like a post-apocalyptic environmental disaster, and a woman, a researcher, discovers an organism, and so it's like kind of her exploring this organism. Sounds interesting. It's probably gonna be really weird, and I love that. I love a good weird book, and Jeff Vandermeer does that well. So the last one on my list is the only new release, and this is coming out in 2026. Ooh, I'm not sure what month. Let me look it up really quick. September. Oh, not till September. That kind of sucks. Exit Party by Emily St. John Mandel. Station 11 is one of my favorite books. I actually have it checked out from the library right now, so I need to like get to Hoppin' on Dungeon Crawler Carl so that I can read that before the hold goes out because I want to reread it. But I also loved Sea of Tranquility. So I haven't read The Glass Hotel and I haven't read Last Night in Montreal. Those are the two that I haven't read. I got partway through The Glass Hotel and I can't remember why I stopped reading it. I think maybe I just like ran out of the library hold and then forgot to renew it. That happens to me a lot sometimes. But I really love Station 11 and I really love Sea of Tranquility. So I'm really looking forward to another book by her. And this one says it's 2031. America is at war with itself, but for the first time in weeks there's been some good news. The Republic of California has been declared. The curfew in Los Angeles is lifted and everyone in the city is going to a party. Ari, newly released from prison, arrives with her friend Gloria just as a fragile new era begins. But there are people at the party who shouldn't be there. Something is very wrong. Years later, living a different life in Paris, Ari remains haunted by that night. Whatever happened at the party fractured her sense of reality and may hold the key to a very different world. So I think that's going to be really interesting. I love the way that she plays with time, and the way she connects narratives is just like so perfect. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm a little bit bummed that I have to wait all the way till September, but I will be patient. Maybe I can read her other two books before then and have the entire backlog finished and ready to go for her newest book. So those are my 6 fiction reads. Now moving on to my non-fiction reads. I used to not read very much nonfiction because I just really love fiction and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but there's interesting things to learn. I love learning. I'm a big nerd. And so I discovered some nonfictions that I really liked, and so I've just been kind of trying to incorporate them more and more in my reading. Last year, Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green was one of my favorite books of the entire year. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. You should definitely read it if you haven't. And so I just want to lean into that nonfiction desire a little bit, and so that's what this list is all about. So the first one is What It's Like to Be a Bird by David Allen Sibley. This book I picked because I am also doing personal curriculum for the year. I think I will make an entire video about that, but essentially if you haven't heard of personal curriculum, the idea is that you create like kind of like a college course for yourself. And you can do it however long you want it. You can make it however intense or not intense you want it to be. And the idea is just to learn, document your learning in some way so that you can feel like you really are retaining the information. So for the first quarter of the year, I am doing Birds of the Pacific Northwest. I don't have a lot of specific content planned out for this for myself to like watch and read and stuff, but this is one book. Now, this book is not specific to Birds of the Pacific Northwest, but it is about birds, so I think this is a good place for me to start. And then I can dive into more specifically birds that are in this area because I live in Oregon and I really love birds. So I just always want to learn more about them. So that's why this is on the list. The next one is I Contain Multitudes by Ed Yong. Another one of my favorite books from last year was An Immense World by Ed Yong, which is all about animal senses. This one is about microbes, and I think also specifically about animals maybe. It's just about like microbes and how they affect our lives. And I know that sounds kind of boring, but I really loved the narrative style of An Immense World. I learned so much. I thought it was so interesting and so fun. So I'm really excited to jump into another book of his. The next one on my list is Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. I heard about this book in Kayla's video, Books and Lala, and because it was in the Goodreads Choice Awards. I don't know if it won the nonfiction category. And it sounds so interesting to me. So basically, this book is about the books that Jane Austen would have been reading and the authors who would have had an influence on her. I love Pride and Prejudice. It is one of my all-time favorite books, and the 2005 version with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden is my favorite movie. I absolutely love it. I love it so much that it's like become one of my husband's favorite movies as well, and he'll be like, hey, do you want to watch Pride and Prejudice? And I'm like, I love you so much. I love Pride and Prejudice. I haven't read any of her other books. I know that's maybe Jane Austen should be on this list. I do want to read one of her books, another one of her books this year, because I love Pride and Prejudice so much, but I thought that this would be a really interesting subject to dive into because I find the history of it really, really interesting. So I'm looking forward to that one. The next one is Empire of Pain by Patrick Radden Keefe. This is about the Sackler family and the opioid crisis and how they perpetuated the opioid crisis in a lot of ways. And so it's all about that. It's all about opioids and why they were pushed so hard and the very major problems that they have caused. So that one sounds really interesting to me, especially someone who lives with chronic pain. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, MCAS, chronic migraines, so I live with a lot of pain. I have been prescribed opioids before, and they're scary. They're kind of scary, so it's just an interesting subject, and so I'm excited to dive into that one, but I think it's also going to be pretty sad. So the next one is a very different vibe, and that is The Comfort of Crows, A Backyard Year by Margaret Renkl. This is 52 essays, one for each week of the year, of her observing her backyard and what she learned from it, and I think that sounds right up my alley. That's the type of thing that if I was ever going to write a book, I would probably write something like that. Like, here's how this bird affected me this week. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I could see that becoming one of my favorites. I hope I love it. And the last one on this list is Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. This is about Indigenous knowledge, and it's mostly about, I think, Indigenous knowledge when it comes to plants and how more people need to incorporate kind of that mindset about plants and just like the world around them in general. And so that's something that is really fascinating to me. I think I want to learn more about like naturalism and what it means to be a naturalist, and just do more research into that because I really, really love nature. I love being outside. I love helping the planet in any way I can. I'm definitely not perfect. I will not say that I'm perfect. I definitely produce waste and, you know, do things that I shouldn't, but it is something that is really fascinating to me and something that I do care about. So that's something that I want to continually learn about and research. So yeah, those are the 12 books that I want to read in 2026. My priority reads, I should say, because I'm going to read more than 12 books, but these are the ones I'm really, really excited for. Let me know, what is on your priority TBR? Have you heard of any of these books? Do you want to read these books? Do you want to read... I lost my train of thought. Tell me what you want to read. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!